Hello everyone, my name is Quo. Um, I am here um, to talk about my speech, persuasive speech, and the problem with plastic. Um, and the purpose is to persuade my audience to use plastic instead of glass instead of plastic. Um, and to do that, I will describe the problem with using plastic, the reason why some are not using glass, and finally other use some ways. Um, finally, offer you some ways to use glass instead of plastic. Consumers, with the introduction, we talked about the consumer. We'll talk about the consumer of plastic having the power to change and the negative impact that plastic use has on the environment and people's health. Um, with the topic that we do is to replacing plastic with glass, which will improve the quality of our environment and our health by removing microplastic from the atmosphere and from our food and water. Um, to start, I will tell you about the harms that comes from the single use of plastic. And I have studied the negative impact of plastic use on the global environment and people's health, as well as positive impact using glass instead of plastic will have on others, will have on either of them, um, which I care about the global environment and people's health, and I understand that my daily habits can impact them both positively and negatively. That is why I make the um, considered choice to use glass instead of plastic. Um, as we all buy a variety of objects made of plastic, and we should all try to replace them with glass objects produced by a company that cared about environment and the people's health. By the end of the speech, I want each of you to be motivated and to use glass objects instead of plastic ones, and make sure that their manufacturers are environmental friendly and health oriented. In order to accomplish this, I will describe the problem related to plastic use, the benefit of using glass, and the solutions that the global society needs to implement to protect the environment and better people's health. Now, um, now I have told you about plastic. Um, I will start with explain the problems that comes from the using of plastic. The three main problems are caused by consumer who use plastics. The first problem that result from using plastic is in the negative impact. Plus, it's because plastic use has on the environment. Um, Plastic bottle end up in the ocean. It's because when we use plastic, the plastic bottle end up in the ocean and affect the mammals life ecosystems. Plastic and microplastic litter a serious problem in the Arctic Ocean. Um, um, since the 1950, when plastic was first introduced, more than 150 million tons of plastic devices have accumulated in the world's ocean. Mermaid plastic litter includes large items such as nets, floats, and other fishing devices, plus tiny microplastic particles that are pervasive and particularly invisible to the naked eyes, but equally harmful and injection of plastic particle by fish, bio, bivalves, and other seafood is particularly concerning for humans, in part because life is known about the pesticide that are attract to plastics and the chemical behavior of plastic addictive. Um, the second is microplastic polluted the environment and through affect humans' health. Before people even sit down to dinner, many plastic products we touch, wear, sit down and drink or eat can leach and synex, syn, synex, syn, 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 synonetic compounds into our body. Many of the chemical building blocks of plastic or the active addictive that give it varied properties have adverse effect on human and other mammals. Um, poly po, pomy, polymerization leaves some monomers bonded and free to migrate from food container, bottle, and utensils. Many plastic actives are not bonded to the polymer. Some of these compounds bioaccumulate in our body. And, microplastic pollute a source of drinking water for human consumption, which result negatively affecting humans' health. This concept is simple. If everyone stopped using plastic, the marine life and water source in the air would be free of microplastics. If people stop using plastic, they wouldn't run into a dilemma of how to dispose of them in an environmental friendly way. And thus, or no plastic will end up in the ocean and water sources. The second problem that exists are the result of plastic use is the negative impact microplastic have on human health. Confronting the plastic pollution's pandemic in 2019, the World Health Organization (WHO) called for further study on the impact of microplastic on human health. And an initial study hampered by a lack of adequate data. Adequate data conclude microplastic pose no danger at current level, although the WHO report was inconclusive about the effects of plastic on human health. Other studies have linked to the chemical in plastic to negative health outcome, including and endocrine disruptions. Plastic particles have been detected in drinking water and in food we eat, with a 2019 study commissioned by WWF estimating humans consume about 5 grams or 1 credit card in weight of plastic every week. This shows that microplastic can easily be ingested in large quantity of humans, which affect their health long term. Additionally, plastic objects release chemical when they are used in high temperature. When people use plastic object, no glass particle are released into the inversion. Glass, for instance, is generally recognized as safe by the FDA when used as a container for holding food. The third problem that results from using plastic is depletion of natural resources such as natural gas, crude oil, salt, and coal. If we know using plastic bottle makes people dependent on natural resources harmful, why do people still use them? There are two common reasons why people are still using plastic bottle. The first reason why people prefer to use plastic is because they think if they recycle it is okay. However, not all types of recycling is safe. And glass is 100% recyclable, better yet, it's infinitely recyclable, meaning it can be transformed into a new product again and again without any loss of in the quality. Recycling glass is through an effective way to combat many of its environmental woes. It reduces emissions, save precisely pressures. It saves precious natural materials and saves energy. Precious material it saves precious natural material and save energy. The second reason that some are still using plastic is because they prefer single-use and discardable containers. However, simply washing glass container is healthier and safer than using plastic container that release toxic chemical and leave microplastic in the environment and the food that people consume. Based on the research of threat to human health from environmental plastic and discard lost item, and also dumping in the fishing industry are major resource of large plastic diverse. Plastic are here to stay. Now that we know about plastic and what the plastic can do to our health, and there's no doubt plastic it's telling us they are here to stay, but we can reduce the single use of plastic by replacing them with glass bottle. Um, the two way of um, starting today by using there are two ways you can start to use glass bottle today is find a good the first step is find a good first step is to find a glass bottle that works for you. The second is always have your bottle on you because it's always because this way avoid buying plastic.